Imagine you've just touched down in a foreign city, right? You're coming off a grueling 10-hour flight.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah, totally exhausted. You're standing at the marble counter of your hotel, and you just look at the person behind the desk and say, "Give me the key."
Yikes. Yeah.
I mean, in your mind, you're just being efficient. You're cutting to the chase so everyone can move on with their evening. But to the person on the other side of that desk, in an English-speaking hospitality culture, you haven't just been direct. You've essentially just declared war.
It is a really jarring realization for a lot of travelers because the perception of directness, it just shifts dramatically the second you cross international borders.
Right.
What's considered like a polite, streamlined interaction in one language can easily register as this really aggressive command in another.
Which is exactly what we're getting into today in this deep dive, because whether you're traveling for a high-stakes business meeting or you're just, a curious tourist on vacation, the moment you walk through those sliding glass doors into a hotel lobby abroad,
You're in a whole new world.
exactly, you've stepped into a very specific linguistic ecosystem.
It functions almost like a microculture. The lobby has its own unwritten rules of engagement, its own pacing,
Yeah.
and this specialized vocabulary that dictates, well, who gets what and how quickly they get it.
So our source material today is this really practical language guide from Phrasy. Specifically, we're looking at their curriculum of 120 essential English phrases for navigating a hotel stay.
Right.
But, okay, let's unpack this, because our mission today isn't to force you to just sit there and memorize an audio dictionary.
No, nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants that. Instead, we're going to extract the hidden cultural rules, the common linguistic traps, and the psychology behind getting exactly what you need at a hotel, so you're perfectly equipped for your next trip.
Yeah, because knowing the vocabulary is really just the baseline.
Right.
Understanding how those words are received, how they're interpreted by the staff, I mean, that's where true traveler fluency actually happens.
So let's start with the ultimate bottleneck of any trip, which is the front desk.
Oh, for sure. Everything starts there.
Every single hotel experience starts right there. To understand how the rest of your stay is going to go, we first need to master the check-in and, the financial diplomacy of it all.
Financial diplomacy, I like that.
Yeah.
And the guide breaks this down quite beautifully. It moves past the standard, good evening, and zeroes right in on the crucial stuff.
Right, like the actual transaction.
Yeah, moving straight to, I have a reservation, and then, crucially, spelling out the name. So, saying the name is Smith, S-M-I-T-H.
That proactive spelling really stood out to me because it seems like such a minor detail, but
It's huge.
it is. When you think about the cognitive load of a front desk agent at a busy international hotel, I mean, they were processing dozens of different accents and naming conventions every single hour.
Exactly. So spelling your name out clearly, it removes this massive layer of friction before the transaction even really begins.
Yeah, it's like a preemptive strike against confusion.
That's a good way to put it. You're managing the interaction for them. You spell the name, you confirm the dates with a simple 2 nights, please.
Right.
But then you inevitably hit this moment that causes a massive spike in anxiety for so many international travelers.
Oh, the dreaded deposit request.
Yep. The desk agent looks at you and asks, do you need a card?
I have seen people completely freeze up at this.
Oh, all the time.
Because their immediate internal panic is like, wait a minute, I prepaid for this room 3 months ago online. Why are they trying to charge me again?
Right. It triggers this deep defensive instinct. Nobody wants to feel like they're being scammed, especially in a foreign country.
Totally.
But the expert clarifies that this is just absolute standard operating procedure for incidentals, like the mini bar or whatever, and it's returned at checkout.
It honestly reminds me of hitting a checkpoint in a video game.
A video game checkpoint.
Yeah. Like you reach the desk, but to unlock the rest of the map, your room, the pool, the Wi-Fi, you have to present the right items. You hand over the passport, the ID, and the credit card.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The card isn't an extra toll. It's an item they need to verify you're a trustworthy player in their system.
That makes perfect sense. And returning to your earlier point about directness versus aggression, this checkpoint is usually where tone errors happen.
Right, because people are tired.
Exactly. They're tired, they're stressed about money, so they just revert to the most basic translation, saying, I want to pay, instead of, I'd like to pay, please, or aggressively demanding, give me the key.
Instead of asking, may I have the key?
Yes. What's fascinating here is why polite requests, I'd like to or may I, are so vital in English-speaking service cultures.
Yeah, compared to direct demands.
Right, because in Western hospitality, it's all built on this illusion of equality. You're the paying customer, but the cultural expectation is that you treat the service worker as a partner.
Politeness is basically the social lubricant there.
Exactly. It makes the staff actually want to help you.
So true. Okay, so financial diplomacy is handled. You've got your key. Now you have to actually find your room.
The real adventure begins.
Right. You have to navigate the map of the hotel. But the English language has a few geographical and grammatical traps waiting in the hallway.
Oh, absolutely. The most immediate hurdle is usually just vertical navigation. Which floor, please?
The Great Transatlantic Divide.
Yep. Are you looking for the American elevator or the British lift?
And it's not just spoken words. You have to tune your eyes to the visual signs, right? Like placards for the lobby or the absolute sanctity of the do not disturb sign.
Oh, never ignore the do not disturb.
Never. And noting things like check out by 11 a.m. You also need to know how to ask about amenities, like what time does the gym open or what time does the pool close?
Right, printing, laundry, all of that.
Which brings me to something I noticed in the source material. When discussing how to ask for an iron to press your clothes, saying, do you have an iron? The guide explicitly highlights the grammar rule. An iron versus a iron, or an hour versus a hour.
Yes. The dreaded a versus an.
I just have to ask, is English intentionally trying to trick people here? Because the rule is supposed to be based on vowels, but hour starts with an H. It feels like they're basing it on the sound instead of the actual first letter just to mess with us.
It definitely feels that way sometimes. But this is actually one of the rare instances where English logic is incredibly consistent.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's all about phonetic flow. Vowel sounds dictate the use of... Try saying a iron out loud right now.
Okay, let's see. A, iron, a, hour. Oh, wow. Yeah, I physically feel my throat stop.
Exactly. You have to briefly choke off the airflow to separate the two vowel sounds. It's called a glottal stop.
A glottal stop.
Right. It's clunky. It interrupts the natural rhythm. So by adding the N, saying an iron or an hour, that consonant acts as a bridge.
So the breath just keeps flowing smoothly.
Yeah.
An iron. An hour.
You got it. Understanding these tiny phonetic bridges is what makes spoken English sound significantly more fluid and natural.
Okay, that makes so much sense. It's an anatomical workaround, not just a random rule. So you've smoothly asked for an iron, you found your room, but eventually something is going to go wrong.
Inevitably.
Right. And how you handle a broken TV or a freezing room determines how fast it gets fixed. The art of the complaint.
And this is where clear communication is vital. The guide covers identifying missing items, like there's no shampoo or there are no towels.
Yep.
Or reporting broken things. The TV doesn't work or the room is cold. And it also emphasizes the follow-up.
Always thank the staff when it's resolved. Everything works now, or much better, thank you.
Exactly. Closes the loop beautifully. But there's this one specific strategy the source advises for calling reception that is just brilliant.
The small problem strategy.
Yes. The guide explicitly says that when you call down, you should never start out angry. Instead, you open with, "Hi, I'm in room 305. I have a small problem."
Okay, I actually want to push back on this a bit.
Oh, why is that?
Well, wait. If the window won't close and it's literally freezing outside, or the shower has zero hot water, do I really still call that a small problem?
I know, it sounds counterintuitive.
Right. Because doesn't that make them take me less seriously? If I say it's small, they'll just put me at the bottom of their to-do list.
I completely get that instinct. You want them to feel your urgency. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about the cultural psychology at play.
Okay, explain that.
In the US and the UK, the word small, in this context, acts as an immediate tension breaker.
A tension breaker.
Yeah. Put yourself in the shoes of the desk agent. They spend all day fielding complaints from stressed, irrational people. When the phone rings, their defenses are already up.
So if I start screaming about an ice-cold shower...
They'll just emotionally check out. They'll do the bare minimum. But politeness opens doors. By starting calmly with, "I have a small problem," you disarm them. They drop their defensive posture. It makes the staff much more eager to help you than if you start with an aggressive complaint.
So I'm basically signaling that I am a reasonable human being.
Exactly. You catch more flies with honey.
That is such a good hack. Okay, so the room is perfectly fixed. Now, the traveler's focus immediately shifts to the two most important resources. The modern hierarchy of needs.
Sustenance and connectivity.
Yes. Securing the internet and finding food. The source gives us the digital survival phrases. What's the Wi-Fi password? Is the Wi-Fi free?
And the troubleshooting ones, too. The Wi-Fi is slow, or can you help me connect?
Asking for the Wi-Fi password is basically the modern equivalent of asking where the town well is. I mean, it's pure survival.
It really is. And once you're connected, you need to eat. Breakfast logistics.
Crucial. What time is breakfast? Where is breakfast? Is there coffee?
And there's a really interesting cultural difference the expert highlights here.
Oh yeah, the breakfast buffet divide.
All right. In U.S. hotels, breakfast is typically this highly efficient self-serve buffet. You toast your own bagel, pour your own coffee, don't expect table service.
Right, efficiency is the goal.
But in Europe, particularly Southern Europe, there is much more personal table service. You're seated, and they bring the coffee to you.
It's just a totally different pace.
Exactly. It's good to know so you aren't awkwardly waiting for a waiter in Ohio or aggressively making your own waffles in a boutique hotel in Rome.
So true. All right, so you're connected, you're rested, you're fed. Now it's time to actually leave the protective bubble of the hotel and explore the city.
The concierge cheat code.
Yes. Using the reception desk as your ultimate local resource. You're asking for recommendations. Can I have a map? Where do tourists go?
What's nearby and nice.
Exactly. And also safety queries. Is the area safe? Is it safe at night?
That local knowledge is invaluable.
It really is. Because the front desk staff is basically a localized, highly curated search engine. One that also factors in safety and, crucially, walking distances.
Oh, the walking distance question is massive.
It is. Is it close to here? Is it walking distance? Should I take a taxi? Here's where it gets really interesting. Because asking, is it walking distance, completely changes the trajectory of a tourist's evening.
How so?
Well, an app can give you the raw mileage, right? It says the restaurant is half a mile away, but the app doesn't know that half mile involves crossing a 6-lane highway with no crosswalks.
Ah, right. It lacks the human context.
Exactly. The concierge gives you the actual lived reality of the city.
And mastering these specific transactional questions, it really empowers the traveler. It turns an intimidating foreign city into an accessible, navigable space.
Yeah, you find an average price place, ask reception to book it by saying, "Table for 2, please," check if they take cards.
And then close out the evening interaction gracefully. Thank you for the help. See you later.
It's brilliant. So just to recap the journey we've been on today, we've gone from the financial diplomacy of checking in to using the magic, I have a small problem de-escalation trick.
We navigated the phonetic bridges of vowel sounds.
Right, the aerodynamic necessity of an iron. And finally, utilizing reception for local dining logistics.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
It is. So what are the practical next steps for the listener?
Well, the source's core advice is this. Do not try to memorize all 120 phrases today.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, that's just a recipe for burnout. Instead, let them wash over you. Review the material a few times lightly, and then practice with the free interactive test they mention in the source at phrasy.xyz.
Phrasy.xyz.
Right. Practicing in that low-stakes environment is how you build true confidence.
That makes total sense. Well, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder.
Let's hear it.
When we learn just enough of a language to navigate a hotel or a restaurant, we essentially create a specialized travel persona for ourselves.
We do, yeah.
It's structured, it's transactional, but it raises the question, does this highly structured version of language keep us safely confined in the tourist bubble?
Oh, interesting.
Right. Or is mastering these basic tools of survival and politeness actually the essential first step to breaking out of that bubble? Is learning the rules of the hotel what finally gives us the confidence to engage with the real culture outside?
That is a great question. Something to think about next time you ask for the Wi-Fi password.
Definitely. Well, that's it for today. Keep diving deep, and we'll see you next time.